there's something else going on in this country that I find really very, very alarming, even disturbing. On Friday, an immigration enforcement unit turned up on the outskirts of Greater Manchester, and they were there. They went to a restaurant where there were 2 suspected illegal immigrants working in the restaurant. And what they were met with when they were seen in the area pretty much immediately were a series of tweets going out saying, "Come, please, and support." A group who call themselves Stand Up to Racism. And those of you that are watching this on television can see people sitting around the enforcement van. They turned out at short notice in very, very quick time. I mean, I'm surprised they weren't all at work, really, but there we are. And it is extraordinary that Stand Up to Racism think that unless we have complete open borders and that anybody that wants to come to Britain, legally or illegally, can come, that in any way, if we enforce our borders, that somehow that is racist. I find this...
Unite Against Fascism have been involved in many incidents of violence over the years, resulting in members being arrested and prosecuted. Stand Up to Racism bills itself as a coalition of left-wing groups and activists united in targeting racism, Islamophobia, anti-Semitism and fascism. It began life in the early 2000s as Unite Against Fascism, UAF, while placards bearing this name were also circulated at the Merkel protest. The group now largely operates as Stand Up to Racism. It is open about the participation of the Socialist Workers' Party, SWP, in its activities. Much like at the Union protest, the two are frequently seen together, although the relationship between the two groups is rarely detailed.
So what is the SWP? It was founded as the Socialist Review Group in 1950. The party describes itself as a revolutionary socialist group. They've been involved in various campaigns over the years. For example, former leading members of the SWP helped to set up the Stop the War Coalition to campaign against the invasion of Iraq in 2003. But in 2013, the SWP was mired in controversy because it was claimed that they had mishandled sexual assault allegations against an individual who was, at the time, one of their members. Well, we did invite the SWP onto the programme, but they declined. They also told us that Stand Up to Racism is not a front organisation for the SWP. So we are joined by Steve Hart, the Vice Chair of Stand Up to Racism, and by the Labour supporting author and journalist James Bloodworth. Welcome to both of you. And the SWP, Socialist Workers' Party's involvement is what?
Yes, they were involved, as they have been involved in many things fighting fascism over the years.
Right. Are they a dominant force in Stand Up to Racism? I mean, certainly one of their leading figures is co-convener, I understand, of the SUTR.
That's right. They're not a dominant force. No, they're a participant in Stand Up to Racism, along with many others.
So the Socialist Workers' Party is not a very Trotskyism isn't particularly popular, so what happens is they form these front groups around issues which are more popular: anti-racism, anti-poverty, anti-war, and then they use that to try and recruit members to their party. And in the case of the Socialist Workers' Party, it's an organisation which many of us believe isn't safe for women, because there was this scandal around 2013. Police have investigated those allegations, whereas the problem with the SWP is they persuaded women who were victims of sexual assault not to go to the police.
Right.
I mean, that's the problem.
And there are groups who actually called on their members to boycott the rally: East End Sisters Uncut, Brighton Solidarity Freedom, Black Lives Matter UK. And there is quite an extensive list of people. Are they all wrong?
Dead duty. I want to say something else about the police. Do you really believe that one day if the police ever bother to go into Parliament and arrest them corrupt MPs, do you think they're going to push them over on the floor? No, they're not. They'll treat them with kid gloves. Why did they push Ian Tomlinson on the floor and brutalise him? Why? Because they hate working class people. Why did they shoot John Charles de Mears? Because they hate people with different colour skins than they've got. They're murderers, they're fucks, they're scum of the earth, and we have to tell them that.
Martin Smith, born October 1963, is a British political activist. He is a former National Secretary of the Socialist Workers' Party, a position he held from 2004 until January 2011. He left the SWP in 2013 following accusations of the rape of a much younger female member of the party. So far in this film, Stand Up to Racism has been directly linked to United Against Fascism and the Socialist Workers' Party. Next we will discover links to a higher political sphere. During our research we discovered that Unite Against Fascism is just a small offshoot of the much bigger organization Unite the Union. This link comes from Steve Hart, who we saw earlier being interviewed. He is the vice chair of Stand Up to Racism. He is also chair of Unite Against Fascism and political director of Unite the Union. Unite the Union, commonly known as Unite, is a British and Irish trade union which was formed on the 1st of May 2007. Unite is the second largest trade union in the UK, with over 1.2 million members across construction, manufacturing, transport, logistics, and other sectors. When looking at any racial left-wing group which seeks fundraising avenues, we must look at their associated union. Unions are the real power source behind any of the far-left groups in action. Unions have members of parliament and civil servants under their wing, while calling to speak for the working class on the street. They are allowed the highest privileges as a result, from stages to stalls all over the country and especially cities.
He is a power broker, a kingmaker. Len McCluskey helped Ed Miliband become Labour leader and Jeremy Corbyn hold on to the job. But after 10 years running Unite the Union, his power seems to be waning. His chosen candidate, Rebecca Long-Bailey, failed in her bid to lead Labour. McCluskey himself is due to stand down in the next 12 months. And now he faces accusations of cronyism over the union's development of a new hotel, conference centre and union base in Birmingham, and its construction contract, awarded to a company owned by a friend.
Unite spent nearly £100 million on the project, but two independent valuations have put its worth at less than £30 million.
Hello, Mr. McCluskey.
Hello,
Would you like to say anything? Jewish Human Rights Watch.
Yes.
Yes, can I show you the back of my jacket? Jewish Human Rights Watch. We're here to try and understand why there are BDS anti-Semitic people here present at this event, and why you consider it mood music. Is it mood music then, Mr. McCluskey?
No.
Mood music. You've been quoted as saying it's mood music.
I did say
yes.
that.
So anti-Semitism is then...
Are you just talking to me,
no,
or
well
do you
then
want to listen?
I'd love to listen.
I did say mood music, and I realised that was an offensive phrase, and I'll never use it
Why was it
again.
an offence?
Well, because people took it as an offence.
And why do you think it was offensive?
Well, it was taken as an offence because people thought I was trying to minimise anti-Semitism.
And were you trying to minimise
anti-Semitism? I fought against it all my life.
But were you? So why would you choose such a word? Mr. Corbyn, is he minimising anti-Semitism? Why is his party institutionally racist?
Can you stop harassing people, please?
If you want to talk about institutional racism, go to Tories, because they're the...
Come on, Mr. McCluskey.
They're the institutional...
Carry on, you're all recorded.
Unite the Union also collaborates strategically with Momentum. Unite the Union stand up to racism, and all far-left groups also claim to be against Islamophobia, but in reality promote anti-Islamic policies which contradict their culture, such as LGBT. If you look at Unite Against Fascism or Unite, it is very easy to see all of their claims seem to be disingenuous.
That a 15-year-old black girl was strip searched by the police. She was taken out with an exam and degraded even though she was menstruating. And let me tell you this, the Met Police are not going into city banks and strip searching white bankers looking for compare. So finally, I want to say this. This is a government which whips up racism every chance it gets. This is a government that has allowed hundreds and thousands of people to die from COVID. And as we move into a cost of living crisis, as people realise they are getting poorer, this government wants you to blame black people and minority ethnic